It's FHR meeting to order. Roll call, trustee Flager,
Here.
trustee Hummel.
Present.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda and approve the previous committee meetings from June 5th, 2025. I get a second.
Second.
Second by Hummel. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Ayes pass. Public comments. I don't want to hear anybody online that you see, Ben.
Yeah, so Danny just joined on from Tyler
Okay,
for his present, for his.
so we'll wait until number 8 on that. Any other public comments? None. Chairman, I have no comments. Discussion and motion to approve the monthly bills, journal entries, and previous month financial reports. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A second by Fluger. Any discussion?
Yeah, discussion. I didn't see that in the packet, but was that sent to us and I just missed it?
Yeah, Diane sent it to me in the emails.
Okay,
Did you not get it?
I probably did and I missed it, so my bad, not.
Okay, it's always on the top part and then you have to scroll
Yeah.
along. I didn't see anything that was out of the order.
Did you see it?
7 to 10:33 a.m. So
It was on
last Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep, and you're on this email too. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. That all seemed pretty standard.
It was all pretty standard. I didn't see anything that was like earth shattering or,
yeah, that's my bad then.
okay.
That's fine. If there was anything weird, we would have been like, hey, what about? No, I think it was
I usually
pretty,
do.
it was pretty status quo. Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Hearing none, that motion passes. We have Danny from Tyler Technologies, and he'll give us a little presentation on the website transfer. We talked about this at the last meeting. I know some of the trustees had questions, and we all had questions on what the capability of this would be and how it would be different from what we have. We know the cost will be a little different. So I guess we'll see what that entails. Danny, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I see it too. Okay, yeah, definitely. Can you just give us a little overview of the website and your company?
Of course. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danny Zawacki. I'm the Director of Project Management at Tyler, Wisconsin. We're located in Madison, Wisconsin. We work with the state of Wisconsin on a number of software development applications for state agencies. We have a contract with the Department of Administration, which kind of leads to the reason I'm here. We provide websites for state agencies, and with the cancellation or the ending of the support for the Webs R Us website platform that the Department of Administration provides and what your website is currently hosted on, they asked us to step in and provide a solution for any parties that are interested in taking us up on that, to continue hosting the website on our platform. It's a SharePoint website-based platform, fairly simple to use for those who would need to be editing pages on it. It's akin to working in Microsoft Word, so non-technical folks can get in there and make updates to content and maintain all of your website content as needed. The date that we were given for the end of the service for that is the end of this year. Obviously, there's a number of factors involved in terms of switching over to a new website provider. But the sooner we're able to have a decision on this, obviously there's more time then to handle the migration. Part of the process is getting the environment set up for content population. So we get everything set up. We take care of hosting and maintenance of the system, but it falls on you as the municipality to migrate your content into the new SharePoint environment and then to maintain it going forward. And going forward, we're still here available for support and guidance as you go along, following go live. I'm going to pause there, see if that sparks anything. I know there are a couple questions that were sent over as well. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
I guess I'm just wondering, I guess the cost, I can't recall right off the hand, but I think it was like the 2,500 or,
So $2,000 in your packet, $2,000 for the initial, setup and then annual of $1,500.
Correct,
okay.
that sounds, yes.
And then the $1,500 basically includes support, site management, hosting environment,
Oh,
It's in your packet. It's like third, last
Things like
sentence
that.
presentation.
would that, is that a contract then too, that the $1,500, you guys can't bump it up, or is it kind of like a set fee for 5 or 10 years, or?
Ooh, I don't have it in front of me. Let me double check. Forget if the language is in there. I think it might have an increase on the right one. On an annual basis. Let me double check.
Yeah, your heading says annual
Sure.
maintenance fee.
Yep, increase annually 3%, following that first year for the maintenance.
Okay, I guess just for budgeted purposes is what I'm thinking, so.
Of course.
Anybody else, trustee Hummel, trustee Luger, or anything?
So I know some of the questions I think that I sent you, Danny, it was, basically reacting with the residents, basically if we post, agenda items on there, if people are able to, comment back on that, basically, I think you said no. I mean, we could put our email addresses on there. They'd have to basically send us an email back to whoever we'd want, to be
That is
involved.
correct. Yep, there's no public interaction available aside from accessing content.
So Danny, thank you. Eric Hummel, I appreciate you being here. Before I ask you questions, I want to just get settled here with the board members and our administrative manager. Have we already decided that we're going, and no disrespect, but have we already decided we're going with him?
No, this is a discussion, and if next month we want to bring a motion to the table, we
I
can.
see. Okay, that sounds good. So Danny, why isn't there any push notification in your program?
Push notifications? Is
Push
that,
notif,
we have just a static website, hosting environment. We don't have any interactive capabilities. So
Yeah,
there
I was
are
asking-
options. Go ahead.
I was asking why is it so vanilla?
So this is a basic service that we provide for the state of Wisconsin as part of our contract with the state of Wisconsin. We keep it as vanilla as possible for maintenance purposes. For our need, we have 45 to 50 websites that are using it right now, so we just keep it as simple as possible for our maintenance purposes.
That's too bad, in my opinion. You've got competition that does have push notification, and it seems to me that if we're interested in increasing the voice of our citizens, it would be something that would be nice to have and good to have. So I'm frankly disappointed we're thinking about not doing that. Also, I want to ask you about your maintenance fee. That is significantly more than what some companies have, some websites have for services that include more capability than what yours does. So are you aware of that?
Yep, I'm aware. Part of that is that we are hosted in DET's data centers. So with that, you get the protection that the Division of Enterprise Technology offers to all of their applications and services for the state of Wisconsin. So the fee reflects some of that protection, as well as some of the other licensing and maintenance costs as well.
What cybersecurity software do you use?
I don't have the details on that. I can follow up on that for you, but there's a host of protections in terms of load balancing and the state's firewall that these websites would be behind. Is there specific items that you'd like me to follow up with?
Yeah, I'd just like to know what the cybersecurity software you're using and what company you're using and so forth for that.
Sure.
And you say you're in 40 to 50 other towns, villages, cities? Is that what you said?
40 to 50 state agency websites, boards, commissions, specifically state government, in Wisconsin.
And your annual increase that you said is a percent?
Yep, it's 3% annually on the maintenance cost.
So that's regardless of what your costs are, it's gonna go up regardless, is that right?
Correct.
Wow, okay, thank you.
Trustee Fluger, do you have any questions?
So the implementation fee, that includes the full migration of everything on the current existing village website over to the new one?
The migration of content would fall on the Village of Port Edwards to migrate the content.
I do have one other question I forgot. Does your software include the capability to have videos on the website?
We recommend hosting those through a streaming service like YouTube or Vimeo, and then we can embed those on the pages for you.
Same as we do now. That's we
I'm
use
I'm
YouTube.
sorry, in other words, you want people to use YouTube and can they be hosted by your website? Can they be planted on there for permanent use?
Yes and no. They can be. The built-in video player and is lacking in features, and the scalability isn't there. We don't recommend using it. Additionally, since we're not designed for video hosting and playback, it puts a load on the servers that might detriment the traffic you see on your website. So that's why we recommend that the use of YouTube or Vimeo for video hosting is the preferred platform, as those are structured and set up for that purpose.
Thank you.
Trustee Fluger, do you have any further questions?
It's probably been a question. URL is the same, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And everything else should look similar. Obviously, we have the capability of setting up however we want. If we want to do a complete overhaul and make it look completely different, we have the ability to do that, or we can make it look as seamlessly, consistent as the existing website.
Yep, I think we met with Danny, Kim and I did, since Kim does most of our webpage stuff, the plan was to make it look just like it is now.
Okay.
Keep our videos, agendas, everything on there.
Same spot.
Yeah, so there wasn't gonna be much change to it.
Okay.
Unless there was desire, or I guess asking to change.
So same old is what you're saying.
Unless somebody had.
I think for now it
recommendation.
makes sense. I think the learning curve is gonna be, and again, SharePoint is a pretty basic, it's just a matter of being familiar with it. You get to know how to move things, how to make things look different. I think right now, it's probably just easiest and most consistent to make everything look the same, and then we can make changes from there. And again, I don't want to speak for Kim, because she's the one that's gonna be doing all the legwork here, but
If you guys want changes, we don't have no issues changing them, so.
That sounds really good, but once it gets started, that's the way it's gonna be, and I think we just ought to be accepting of that there won't be changes going forward unless, I mean, I don't know how that would really happen.
There's something I did include in your package, was the Go Government. If you look at when previous administration was here, we went with a citizen notification alert system, Go Government, which is $1,300 or $1,900 a year. We tried that and nobody signed up for it. The citizens, we put it out in newsletters with their taxes. Nobody signed up to get alerts of any of that stuff. I don't know a lot about it. I wasn't in this spot, but we did pay for that, and I know it didn't go anywhere. So just, we have tried alert systems for storms, for agendas and things like that, and that's why I did include that bill in your packet tonight.
So are you saying that's a reason not to consider looking at ways to be able to push information to our citizens?
No, not at all. I'm just saying we invested $1,900.
We did it for a year.
Yes, and I wasn't part of it. I'm just saying that we
we didn't have any interest and we spent $19,000. I mean,
Well,
I think if we could get some interest where people would wanna sign up. I'm not against doing the alert thing at all, but we have to get people that are gonna, you know, kind of like we had this chicken ordinance, there was tons of calls and only one person showed up to have any interest in the meeting that came by video.
well, Lon, actually, we had a husband and wife, and we had so there were two citizens that joined. There was a president here, the village manager, and only one board member showed up. So, I mean,
Yeah,
none of us invested in that, and it takes habit generation to get people to do that kind of thing. So, great that we tried for a year or whatever, but, we're making a huge conclusion that people wouldn't be interested if or creating a new habit. And then I'm just saying, so,
well, I agree. I mean, and how to create a new habit, you know, it's a tough thing. But I do agree that to create a new habit and have it useful, I just don't wanna be throwing $19,000 or $20,000 on something and it stays stagnant, and then we're throwing that money, it has to be, the wheels gotta keep turning. To be able to have the interest in having people.
Yep.
Respond.
I think I'd have to decide how important it is.
Right.
to us. Okay, thanks, Danny, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dan, for-
Have a good afternoon.
You do, thanks. Any other discussion on that?
And I think, it's obviously the mass notification and the information sharing is a very valid thing. I think it was just, outside of the capability of what Tyler Technologies was able to provide. And again, unfortunate. I was a website administrator for a previous job. The platform that they use had the ability to send an email out whenever a change was made to a specific website. It didn't say what the change was. It just said that there was a change made to this website. So if you subscribe to meeting minutes, it would just say that a change was made to this website.
Which is
And then
nice.
you have to go there. Again, there's different ways of doing it too. If it ever comes down to this, I'm one of the administrators for the county's Everbridge, which is the mass notification software that we use. So if we ever get down to that one and some, getting onto the county system and cost sharing, I obviously would have to step out of that conversation. But essentially it's kind of the same thing that we had with the village. We had a lot of interest right off the bat because it was 50-some thousand people in the county that have access to this system. We sent out a blurb because 911 was down. People lost their minds, asked questions. We explained what the system was. We explained how to get onto it. We had 300 to 400 people sign up in the span of a week or two, and we probably only had 100 more since. So it's a good system. It's a good platform. It's just a matter of, using it consistently and selling people on the virtues of it. So there's gotta be a different way to do it here. The website obviously isn't able to do that. We can look at different website options. We can look at this one. We can look at a standalone system. I think there's plenty of different ways of going about doing it.
So I'm just gonna tell you some cost differentials. The Netco Lake District, Tri-Lakes, has a system that you can have push systems. The maintenance fee for, each year for us was $715. Okay, that's half of what you're gonna pay for this. Is the upfront cost more? Yeah, and yet, our total budget is $100,000, yet we decided to, invest in that. So to say that it's a frivolous cost, I dispute that. I see it differently than that. And this to me is so vanilla. I'm gonna have a hard time buying into it.
How much is the upfront cost of that
I'll
website?
find out for you.
I don't have any objection to looking at other websites. I guess the cost is what I'm looking at. To be honest with you, I don't know enough about technology and websites. I've used the village's website here and there. I was able to navigate it. And I'm open-minded to different websites or different things but the cost is gonna be one, I'll tell you, you know me, I'm looking for the village's dollars and how they can be used. And if people are gonna buy in and we can utilize it and the wheels are turning, I'm willing to invest more. But as just me as a trustee, it'd have to be everybody in the board, of course, to bring this up, but, it needs to be utilized. I just don't wanna have something that's stagnant and I'm definitely open-minded to other websites.
Yeah, I can go definitely. I have no issues getting price quotes on other websites. If you guys have different websites you want to use, send them my way and I'll get them to come here to the next meeting and give a
I'll
presentation.
share it with you.
you
I
have-
just have a problem with a vanilla thing and having $1,500 plus a 3% every year increase, when other websites that have much more capability and options than that are down to $600 to $700. That's problematic for me. You're talking about costs. So that figure that out over 10 years and that gets pretty expensive, in my opinion, for something so vanilla.
Well, and I agree, but I don't know how vanilla, because I don't really know websites as well, but I do agree the maintenance fee and then the 3%, that's why I asked. But, I guess, if there's other websites and you have more knowledge on that, both of you, please share them with Ben and we can bring that up at next meeting and look at other situations, and I'm definitely open-minded to that.
I would love to have Kim's input on this though, because as the primary end user and the person that's gonna be inputting all this stuff in there, I wanna make sure, and again, I'm not
You
saying
want who's?
Kim.
Well, wait a minute.
Kim does the majority of, I would like to have, and it's not that she's gonna make the decision, I would like to know how user-friendly it's gonna be on the back end, because if we're spending $1,500 on something that's user-friendly and only takes an hour to make major updates, or $700 on something that's gonna take her 3 times as long, obviously that's something that's gonna be taken into account. So I'd like to have her input into what these look like, what the back end looks like, how much futzing it's gonna be, to.
Yeah.
We haven't had, until we get to other ones, we wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to have that.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
you guys give me other websites and we can do the same thing we did. We can do, me and her did a 15-20 minute demo with this one.
Mhm.
We can do the same thing and have them come to you guys and give you the same thing so that we both know what it's gonna
And
take.
you guys have ones you can share with, Ben, then?
Absolutely.
I'm not,
I haven't been involved.
this is under my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I haven't been involved in website administration for probably 10 years
I mean,
now.
the emails come, 20 different ones a day that are always trying to sell website.
Mhm.
But if you got some recommendations, it's nicer to go with somebody that has these already in place.
Both Betsy and Joe are on the Lake District Board appointed by the village and Wood County, so they're used to the one that we use and Tri Lakes uses.
Are you an administrator for that?
Pardon me?
Are you an administrator? Do you have up a
Larry
role?
Isensee is
Okay,
a local person that is.
correct. Can we get some input from Larry? Like I said,
No,
I'm
sure.
more concerned about the people that are gonna be ultimately responsible for using the site, not the people on our end that are, consumers of the information that's out there. I wanna know the people because, again, when I was in this 10 years ago, what we had was very vanilla. It was very SharePoint based. It was they called it WYSIWYG. It's what you see is what you get. If you put it on the page and it looks like this, that's what's gonna happen. I wanna make sure that it's something that's not gonna require like large amounts of coding or HTML or things like that.
Yeah.
If Kim is gonna be using it, I wanna make sure it's something that Kim's gonna be able to understand and utilize.
Yeah.
And be able to make it look and function how we want.
So, sure, I can bring the website and have Larry share with you
That would help.
his perspective.
And if we could get a cost, I definitely would,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said,
We'll share what the cost is.
okay, yeah, let's
But
do that. I don't think we don't have to make a decision this month, next month, but we have to do something before the end of the year.
I totally agree with that. It's really important. And it has to be enough before the end of the year to get the dynamics set up to have it running January 1st,
And the
right?
budget for
So
next
that's really important. I do want us to think about, if we're looking at it only the cost as opposed to an investment, that makes kind of a difference in mindset as well. So let's get that information and, then let people can vote and see.
Yeah, we did try to do some, like our videos get 5 to 8 people that watch, and we've been trying to get how much use it's getting, so we could come back with some data. I'm trying to work with Danny from Tyler to see if they can come up with some kind of how many times people actually click on a website, so we can get some
Okay.
information for you guys back. 'Cause I know that was one of your questions too.
Yeah, typically on the back end, there'll be something, that'll be a hit counter or something that
Yeah.
says how many times that website.
The videos, we could do it ourselves, because we post our own videos, so.
Correct, and YouTube tracks that automatically, but
Yeah.
I'm talking like page views and things
Yeah.
like that, like how often do people go to the forums page, how often do people go to the meeting notices page?
And if we can get more people involved in the local government, that's great.
Mhm.
That's what we want to do in the community.
Question
So-
about YouTube real quick. Do we have to pay to do that?
No, it's free.
Hmm.
I record them here, I save them, and then we serve them on YouTube, and then we download them to the website.
Okay, so we're really outsourcing that too. We're outsourcing Facebook to share information. We're outsourcing the videos to YouTube.
So it's Facebook, I'm running it, which most organizations have an outside company that runs it. I mean, schools, and I don't know, school spends $10,000 a year running their Facebook, because it needs to be managed 24/7. That's why I don't know what the county does. So yes, we're doing that in-house. I do that myself, whatever, but I turn off a lot of notifications so we don't get into the issue of people reporting and commenting back, and that's when you get into issues. I know I did talk to the school about their website, and basically they have one lady that sits on there all day and updates their website all day long. I mean, that's her,
What website?
the school website for the Port Iowa School District. She's updating with,
I'll have to see what.
Agendas
I'll have
and
to see
things that
what
go
the
on.
website is.
yeah, they moved it a couple of years ago. They went to a different website, the school did. Has a lot of information on it, but again, somebody's constantly has to put the
Yeah, let's
information
get
in there.
Larry to give you an idea about,
Yeah.
and I realize, we're talking about a couple hundred people that are doing it, but they also thought it was important enough, because people vote on the budget. We don't tell them what it is. They have to vote on that, and they thought it was important enough to invest in that. So
Okay, yeah, definitely.
One more quick thing, can you see if Danny can send us, he said there were 40 to 50 state agencies, I'd just like to know, give me a couple of them that Tyler is hosting for state agencies, I'd like to.
so we can see them.
I'd like to at least get in there and see, yeah.
I think I even have a more broad email that has it, so yes, for sure.
Yeah, there was a slide in here that had a couple of them, like DOA, I think had,
I'll get you then, send that over to you here
but
today.
yeah, just a couple of URLs.
Yep.
Like, I wanna know what it looks like, what capabilities it is, looks like DATCAP is on here. Yeah, there's at least one, so yeah, if we can get, half a dozen or so that we can look at and just say like, hey, I like this, I hate this.
Yeah,
Perfect.
This is the last point, and I'm not trying to be super critical all the time, but it's kind of concerning that we don't even know what the cybersecurity system is that's being used. That concerns me a great deal, having come from a company that was a cybersecurity person and knowing the challenges with that, and I've seen people use things that the dark web would love to have be their cybersecurity. So
And I'll be upfront, I'm not, that's why we hired Wood, nobody on staff here is an IT, I'll be the first one to admit to that, that's why we do hire Wood County obviously checks, they'll check with Tyler to make sure it's good, they do all of our cyber stuff, everything runs through Wood County IT,
I
so
did ask what Wood County uses.
I wouldn't honestly, we pay them, I could check in
I
that,
know what one they use.
okay.
You talked to Josh?
It's the one that got hacked about 6 months ago.
We have several different layers of what we use, so it's constantly evolving.
okay, well, we'll get some more information, we'll put that on the
Thank you.
agenda next week, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Discussion on possible motion, adding section 5.21. Recoverable cost for fire fees to chapter 5 for the fire department ordinance. I'm gonna make the motion so we can get some discussion. I'm looking for a second.
Second,
Second by Hummel.
So what I'm gonna say is the numbering, if you look at it, obviously, we're gonna be updating these ordinances to our version that we have on the village website and on our server, so it will not look like this. We're gonna be labeling it 5.17, because if you look at it, we have a gap from 5.16 to 5.20. for penalty, so it's actually gonna be, recovery costs and fees will be 5.17.
Okay,
If that makes sense, because
Was there anything in 517, 518, 519? Was that?
we always left them open for extra,
Okay.
for add-ons. Yep.
Because typically you'll leave them if there was something there, it was, removed or something like that, but there was never anything there.
No, we just
Okay.
left it for space.
Perfect.
I'm guessing we look back in the last 20 years, so I'm guessing that was what the hope was, so,
Makes sense.
just so you're aware.
I reviewed it. I think it's a good idea.
I think it's great.
And I see what, our attorney Nick App said that, on the enforcement part. Did everybody get a chance to read that email? I think it's a really good idea. And it's not anything that's, we are charging if we get a number of false calls or if there's, recovery cost for our fire department to be out. So I think, from what I read, I'm happy with this and, I don't know if there's any further discussion.
I just tell you, I concur too, because it's the same process we use for other violations and so forth. So let's keep that same process and as opposed to a one-off process. And, if I were the fire chief, I would really like it if
Yeah,
law enforcement took the lead in that part of it. Yeah.
yeah. Any other?
So I did talk to Dustin, just let him know today that it was on discussion tonight that the fees he could implement if he wanted to, otherwise the ordinances go through the police department, but if he does put a fee in there and they don't pay it, then the police department writes a citation ordinance for not paying it and move on forward. He was good with that, so I did have a
Cool.
conversation with him
Okay,
today.
he was good with it?
Yep, and so with Brandon.
Okay,
And as the chairman of the committee that referred to here, this isn't intended to penalize the people that have one-offs, if you have a mild electrical fire or, something this is intended to get the worst violators, the negligent parties, the big businesses that potentially could have large fires, hazardous material spills, things of that nature. So this isn't designed to penalize individual taxpayers and homeowners. This is designed to provide a mechanism to go after the people that are doing things that cost large amounts of dollars to the village.
and yeah, if we pass this motion, which we hopefully will, I would like that to be brought up at the board meeting, so all the board members know that this isn't to penalize individuals. It's kind of, I don't know if they'll all read it or not, but, from what I see, like I said, I think it's a good
Yeah.
ordinance.
Just a question then, so you'd be okay with somebody who was negligent, a homeowner that was negligent that caused a fire?
It depends on the level of negligence, obviously, and this gives the fire chief a little bit of latitude.
Yeah, exactly. Let's let them use a discretion.
Correct. There's nothing in here that requires this amount to be
That's-
administered to that.
That's correct.
If the chief determines it to be negligent, if you have, you're burning yard waste and it gets away from you, and it takes down 2 houses and 20 acres of land, then chief has the ability to go back and say, this is negligent. Here is, according to our fee schedule, we are allowed to charge you up to this amount, and we are
Yeah.
exercising that ability to charge you this amount.
I do like the idea of letting the fire chief trusting his expertise in that matter and not getting it so tight that it limits his ability to make good judgment.
Definitely.
Correct, and that's completely contained within there, so, the 521 was approved at PLP, correct? We're just approving the fee schedule?
Yes, just a fee schedule.
Okay. So 521 was already, that's already on the books. This
Okay,
is,
so
we're
this is
just
just the
approving,
fees.
we're approving the fee schedule here.
Okay,
Because we had 2 separate referrals. We approved it in public safety and referred it to PLP for the ordinance update. And we're referring the fee schedule to FHR IT. So
okay, so this is a motion to approve the fee schedule.
the fee schedule, correct.
So the
Just
fire
to clarify
department
that.
ordinance.
Mhm.
So maybe let's put that in the motion when we do it for,
So your motion is going to be the approved 5.17, recoverable costs and fees.
yes. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right,
Any opposed, say nay. Hearing none, that motion passes. Old business. Does anybody have any old business?
Have not.
Discussion and new business.
Lon was in the email I sent to both, all the department heads, trying to tell them to reach out to me, sometime this week so we can start reviewing them halfway through the year in the budget. We can review any expenses come up, any concerns they have the rest of this year, and then start talking budget for 2026.
Question about that. Can you tell me what guidance was given in terms of how the department heads are gonna go about looking at that?
We haven't really, I just, basically, when I meet with them, I haven't even met with them yet, just asking them for any big purchases they have, so we can start, if they have any big wants, wishes, so we can start kind of looking as we put the budget.
Yeah.
The plan moving forward would be September, October, November, I'm gonna set up a budget workshop. It's a meeting of the whole. We tried this last year and unfortunately, nobody could attend, but I'm gonna set the date, set a time, and then it'll be, if you wanna come, you can come. We'll have budget sheets. And we'll just update it as we
Yep.
keep going. And,
Okay,
other than that, the budget basically will be as it's always been. I guess I'll work with the department head, start working on putting the numbers together, working with you guys monthly and you guys make the adjustments. And at the end of the day, the meeting of the whole, people have wishes, wants, suggestions, they can have input at those meetings and then November we'll bring it to the board. I mean, it's open for everybody for suggestions. In the past, we haven't had a lot of input, so if people want to have input, sit down with me, come to these meetings, it's open, but we haven't had that in the past.
are I'm back to the issue of how, what role our stated goals are gonna play in budget development. So there's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honest as honest can get. I will be trying to maintain what we have in there now. I mean, and if there's people in departments that have wishes, wants, we'll definitely look at that. I'm just trying to hopefully maintain the same service that we're offering today unless I'm told different by the board. I guess, but that's, I need direction if people want to change it, so.
Okay, anybody receive any correspondence?
None.
None, Ben?
No.
Tons of it, but it doesn't have to do with FHR.
Okay.
Well, that's all we're worried about right now.
That's all we're concerned about is FHR here, Eric, so. Agenda items for next meeting, I think that, we need to talk more about this, website transfer. And,
Yeah, hopefully I have a couple more presentations and some price quotes for you guys.
and next meeting was going to be August 7th at 4:30 here. Anything else for agenda items? Okay, hearing none. Any other comments, trustee Hummel?
No, I appreciate the conversation today and allowing me to pontificate a little bit. Sorry.
Trustee Fluger?
I have nothing, Lauren.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
okay, without objection, we will call a meeting at 5:07. Thank you.
8 minutes to spare. Good.